You constantly talk about that steel framework thing. You say that learn the first principles.
Yes.
While we were at the event, a lot of the people backstage were like, ask Naval about how he achieved this level of clarity. And I understand that you focus on first principles thinking.
Yeah.
But what's underneath that thought? Like, did you read a book at some point in life that pointed you towards it?
No. I think when I was young, my dad wasn't around much, and he was gone. He immigrated to the U.S. before the rest of us did, and it took 4 years where he could pull us there. And then my parents went through a divorce and so on. So one good thing was I never had anybody telling me what to do, ever. And I had to figure everything out for myself. And I think that helps a lot. It makes you very high agency. I also, nobody in like my aunts and my mom, they loved us to death, but there was nobody saying, this is right, that's wrong, do it this way, don't do it that way. So you figure it out for yourself. And it started with reading, but eventually it just goes to thinking. But I don't think there's anything special. I think deep down, everybody wants to understand things, right? Everybody wants to learn. Everyone's curious. All children are curious. Any young child, they'll be asking questions all day long. And I think the trick is just don't stop asking questions and keep asking questions until you can answer something to your own satisfaction. Maybe I had the luxury of the time to read. That's helpful because it helps answer questions when you're younger. At least some reading. Too much reading or reading the wrong things can be bad too, right? Because you can stuff your head with the wrong things. I guess for decades, I did not feel like I was that smart, because what would happen is I would talk to somebody and they'd say, well, there's this and that, and there's this, and they would just start using big terms and big words and defining huge things. And it took me a long time to figure out they didn't know what they were talking about. If someone's using a lot of big words, it's the mark of a charlatan to explain simple things in a complex way. And it's a mark of a genius like Richard Feynman to explain complicated things in simple ways. The smartest people actually understand what they're talking about, so they can explain it in plain English. They don't need to resort to abstractions. They don't need to impress. And a lot of times with abstractions are leaky. You poke at them and it doesn't quite map, or it doesn't mean what they think it means. I'd rather stick, and I'm a failed physicist. I wanted to be a physicist. My math wasn't good enough. Plus I wanted to make money, so it didn't work out. But I was surrounded by a lot of physicists and I read a lot of physics. And so I felt dumb compared to the other physicists. And so you're not going to trick a physicist. You're not going to walk in and start talking physics and then suddenly you say something that's wrong. They're going to call you on it. Physics is very rigorous. And same thing with computer science, which I did end up studying, is the code has to compile. The code has to run. The code has to work. You can't trick the machine using words. And so I think having a grounding in scientific disciplines around scientific people forces you to be rigorous and humble about your actual sphere of knowledge. You can't bluff people. Systems in which you get feedback, like real feedback, free markets and nature, right? You can't trick nature. I can't lie to nature, and I can't trick free markets or I'll end up broke. So these systems give you very good feedback and they force you into being rigorous. But it's very easy to trick people. So if you're in politics, if you're in law, if you're in journalism, if you're in media, if you're just BSing with your friends, it's very easy to trick people. And then you get social rewards. You don't get the negative feedback, and that gets baked into your personality, your identity, your way of thinking. So I think I was fortunate enough to be to get scientific feedback and to be pushed back upon through science and scientific people. I also grew up in a tough environment, so it was a no BS environment. You had to be correct. So, when you're trying to survive, you have to be correct. When you have an abundance of resources and things are easy, you don't have to be right, because there's cushions everywhere in the environment for you. So maybe I was forged that way. But like I said, I don't introspect much. It doesn't really matter to me. It's ancient history. All that matters is here, because this is all there is.
Hey, if you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out all the other clips we've uploaded on this channel. You'll find a clip related to almost every single topic, as long as you're willing to search for it.